Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4. Series titled The Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 30, Activities of the Prachetas. Will be at text 26. So if you could please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Nama Kamala Kinchoka. Vishanga Malavasase. Sarvabhuta Nivasaya. Namo Yukshmahi Sakshine. Nama Kamala Kinjoka. Vishanga Malavasase. Sarvabhuta Nivasaya. Namo Yukshmahi Sakshine. Nama Kamala Kinjoka. Vishanga Malavasase. Sarvabhuta Nivasaya. Namo Yukshmahi Sakshine.
Nama Kalama Kinjaka. Vishanga Malavasase. Sarvabhuta Nivasaya. Namo Yukshmahi Sakshine.
Namaha Kamala Kinjalka. Sangha Malavasase.
Sarvabhuta Nivasaya.
Namo Yukshmahi Sakshine.
Nama Kamala Kinjalka. Sangha Malavasase. Sarvabhuta Nivasaya. Yukshmahi Sakshine.
Right. Namaha. Obeisances. Kamala Kinjoka. Like the saffron in a lotus flower. Pishanga. Yellowish. Amala. Spotless. Vasise. Unto him whose garment. Sarvabhuta. Of all living entities. Nivasaya. The shelter. Namaha. Obeisances. Ayunshmahi. Let us offer. Sakshine. Unto the Supreme Witness. Translation. Dear Lord, the garment you have put on is yellowish in color, like the saffron of a lotus flower. But it is not made of anything material. Since you live in everyone's heart, you are the direct witness of all the activities of all living entities. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you again and again. Purport. In this verse, the dress of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his all-pervasive nature are described. The Lord puts on a dress that is yellow, but such a garment is never to be considered material. The garments of the Lord are also the Lord. They're non-different from the Lord because they are spiritual in nature. The word Sarvabhuta Nivasaya further clarifies how Lord Vishnu lives in everyone's heart and acts as the direct witness of all the activities of the conditioned soul. Within this material world, the conditioned soul has desires and acts in accordance with these desires. All these acts are observed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15:15. Sarvasya chaham hridisannavishya matasmati jnanam apohanam cha. I'm seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. The Lord is present in everyone's heart, and he gives the living entity intelligence. According to the desires of the living entity, the Lord makes him remember or forget. If the living entity is demoniac and wants to forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord gives him the intelligence to be able to forget the Supreme Lord forever. Similarly, when a devotee wants to serve the Supreme Lord, the Lord as Paramatma gives the devotee the intelligence to make progress in devotional service. The Lord directly witnesses our activities and experiences our desires. Supreme Lord gives us the facilities to act in the way we wish. Om Ganativaranda Selakananjana Shvakaya Chakshuvanmaditam Vena Tasmai Shri Guruvir Maham Kam Kaitavachalam Pamamanda Tegri Kapitamaham Vande Shri Gurindilitaranam Vanchakapurubhishta Kripasindabevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. So read the translation one more time. Dear Lord, the garment you have put on is yellowish in color, like the saffron of your lotus flower. It is not made of anything material. Since you live in everyone's heart, you're the direct witness of all the activities of all living entities. We offer respectful obeisances unto you again and again. The special situation that we are hearing and reading and meditating on in this particular section is that Krishna or Vishnu, he appeared before the Prachetas, and they are offering their prayers to him. So those of you who have been here and meditating on these classes that have been given here over the last few months may remember this particular verse, or those who have studied Bhagavatam may remember this particular verse, but it's the earlier verse in this chapter in which Krishna says a very telling thing that is good for all of us to remember as much as possible. And not just remember, but to try to follow and always follow this. And that is in the earlier verse in this chapter, text 8. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Param Vrinidvam Badrambo Yuyum Me Nripanandana Sauhardenna Pritag Dharmas Tushtoham Suradenava. So what does he say here? And whenever Krishna speaks, whenever the Supreme Personality of God speaks, of course, we should be eager to hear. Krishna is speaking here in the Bhagavatam, and he's also speaking in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Bhagavan Vacha. So if Krishna speaks it, it's very important. And of course, devotees, aspiring devotees, they repeat what Krishna says. So anyways, he's saying here, the Supreme Personality of God had said, speaking to the Prachetas, who were performing austerities underwater for, anyone remember how long?
10,000.
Yes, 10,000 years. That's a long time. Obviously had some mystic powers for that one. People nowadays, they can't stay underwater for, I think the longest someone could stay underwater is something like 15 minutes, something like that, world record. But they're there for 10, yeah, it's a lot, yeah. Usually it's just, a minute or something, but they're there for 10,000 years underwater. So then Krishna appeared to them. And this is what he said. He said, "My dear sons of the king, I am very much pleased by the friendly relationships among you." It would be hard, right, to living with someone for 10,000 years. And you can imagine if you didn't like each other, or you had some hatred towards each other, it'd be very difficult. So they had friendly relationships. "I'm very much pleased by the friendly relationships among you. All of you are engaged in one occupation, devotional service. I am so pleased with your mutual friendship that I wish you all good fortune. Now you may ask a benediction of me." So Krishna is saying here that he's very pleased with their friendship and their engagement in devotional service. So we could always remember this in relation to ourselves, that no man or no woman or no devotee is an island, and that we have to associate with each other by nature. We are social beings, so we have to associate with each other. So when we associate with each other, we should have very friendly relations with each other. And Rupa Goswami talks about this in the Upadeshamrita. Srila Prabhupada's translated as Nectar of Instruction. Dadati Pritigrinati Guruyamaikati Pritchati Punkte Bojayate Chaiva Shadvidam Priti Lakshanam, Priti, with affection. So the 6 loving exchanges: giving prasad, accepting prasad, giving gifts, accepting gifts, and revealing one's mind in confidence, and inquiring confidentially. These are the 6 loving exchanges that happen between one devotee and another. So we should try to base our lives off of these 6 loving exchanges. And then Krishna will appear to us, as he did with the Prachetas. He'll appear in our lives. So we're here in another beautiful verse from the Bhagavatam. It's amazing, all of these beautiful verses, even from the standpoint of, Nama Kamala Kinjoka Pishanga Malavasase. So it's amazing, actually, verse after verse after verse, and such beautiful Sanskrit, and also the purport, Srila Prabhupada's purport. So it's a great benediction, actually, to hear the Bhagavatam. So we're hearing a beautiful verse, another beautiful verse, in which is explaining Krishna. The Chaitas are praying, and they're describing the garment that Krishna wears, yellowish in color. And they're also glorifying that he lives in everyone's heart as the super soul, the direct witness of all living entities. One devotee in Venezuela, when Srila Prabhupada visited there for a week, this devotee had a tendency to steal the Maha sweets that are offered to the deities. So he would do that regularly, and he would go, it's a common pastime amongst devotees, they steal the sweets sometimes. So he would go there, and he would steal the sweets that are offered in the morning, and then he would go somewhere, secluded place, and then have the sweets. So that was his activity, regular activity as a brahmachari. So when Srila Prabhupada was initiating him, he said, your name now is Jagat Chakshur, which means the eyes of the Lord. And he sees everything. He sees everything. And then Srila Prabhupada, he said, you cannot hide from the eyes of the Lord like that. And he said it to this devotee. And he was thinking, oh, maybe Prabhupada, he knows that I've been stealing sweets. So, but Krishna is there and he's witnessing all of our activities. So he's very close there, the closest. And therefore he knows what we're going through very precisely. And he could help us. So it is not so cheap to. It's not cheap at all to, and it's not possible for an ordinary living entity to be God, as sometimes we see people try to do. Mostly men, but there are a few women out there. Mostly they're God men. But there are some God women out there also. Mostly men, somehow or other. So one personality in Srila Prabhupada's time, he would go by Guru Maharaj Ji. And he was claiming to be Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada knew about him. So one news reporter, they asked Srila Prabhupada, the news reporters are always trying to get a good story. So they asked Srila Prabhupada, what do you think about Guru Maharaj Ji? Prabhupada said, we're not so concerned. We don't have much to say about him. And then the news reporter felt some story coming. So, because he could tell Prabhupada was not happy with Guru Maharaj Ji. So the reporter said, no, please tell us, what do you think about Guru Maharaj Ji? And then Srila Prabhupada, he said, Guru Maharaj Ji, he's a cheat. He's a cheater. And he's claiming himself God, but he is not God. And Krishna, he's described in the Gita as the supreme cheater. So he's thinking that he could cheat God, but he will be cheated by God. And then the news reporter was writing down, okay, the founder, the leader of the Hare Krishna movement said Guru Maharaj is a cheater. It came in the newspaper the next day. Prabhupada was happy with it. So, but later on in his wife, Guru Maharaj Ji, he became attracted to one of his American female secretaries, and he actually ended up marrying her. So what happened was that his mother, Guru Maharaj Ji's mother, who was back in India, she heard about this, and she wasn't happy. My son married this American woman. She wasn't happy. So then she declared that my son, Guru Maharaj Ji, he is no longer Bhagavan. He's no longer Krishna. But my other son, he's Krishna. But it's not so, you can't, it's not like that by vote or something. So in this way, he was cheated, or he was, so you have such people back then, you have such people now, and even in Krishna's time, you had such people who were claiming to be Krishna. One such case is a person by the name of Pondraka. And he would openly claim, I'm Vishnu, I'm Krishna. So much so that he told a messenger, you go to Krishna in Dwarka, and you relay a message that that I, Pandraka, am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that you, Krishna, you're a rascal, and you should give up the symbols of Vishnu immediately, or else this will be the cause of your destruction, or else I challenge you. So it says that Krishna was there in his assembly with some of his people, managing the city and so on. And when they heard that, he started to laugh. They all started to laugh. It reminds me of these two devotees. They were driving from Los Angeles to San Diego, and they got off at a rest stop, and they're dressed like this. It was actually Nanda Tirtha Maharaj, or old Mahatattva. Nanda Tirtha Maharaj, and he was a brahmachari, Mahatattva, and Kanai Balai. So they're both there. And Kanai has a tendency to uncontrollably laugh sometimes. So anyways, they get off, and some guy comes up to him, and he says, "Oh, nice to meet you, this and that." And he says, "I just want to let you guys know that I'm actually God." That's what the guy said. So then Mahatattva and Kanai, they both looked at each other, and they just started laughing. Like uncontrollably laughing. And the guy, he just kind of got offended and just stormed off, and they continued their laughing. So, but anyways, Krishna was there laughing. All of them were laughing, but then Krishna got really serious, and he said, "Okay, now you could relay a message back to Pandraka that he is not the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I am not going to give up the symbols of Vishnu, and especially I'm not going to give up the chakra. And this chakra, it's going to kill him. We're going to cut off his head, and his body is going to be then devoured by jackals." So you could tell Pandraka that. So he said Krishna is the supreme lover and also a supreme fighter. So that was relayed back to Pandraka, and then still he didn't give up his idea. He was still thinking, I'm Krishna, I'm Vishnu. So then Krishna went there, and then they brought all of their armies out as well. Pandraka and also Kashi, one of his friends. And then Pandraka, he actually came out, and he had 4 arms, and he had the symbols of Vishnu. He was dressed up like a drama or something. And interesting enough is that many people accepted him. That's what Srila Prabhupada writes. Many people accepted him, Pandraka. So Srila Prabhupada relates that to nowadays, it's many people accept a foolish person, or Srila Prabhupada would say fool number 1, as God. So they're accepting Pandraka as God. But Srila Prabhupada says very childish. It's like kids, they get together, and then one kid dresses as a king, and they say, "Oh, he's a king." So in this way, Pandraka was dressing up. And when Krishna saw him, he started to laugh again. So laughing. I mean, you can imagine. It's good. So then Krishna, with his chakra, the chakra, which is more bright than so many suns and so powerful that no one could escape, just he let loose the chakra, and then it just took care of Pandraka as well as Kashi. And what he did with Kashi, actually, Kashi's head, is they threw it into the city, Kashi's city. The head was there. And then the citizens were thinking, "Oh, maybe this is Krishna's head." They're looking, but actually it was Kashi's. So then what happened is Pundraka, he got liberated. So this is the difference between Krishna's killing and ordinary killing. There's benefit when Krishna does it. This way Krishna is all good. So sometimes people have a problem, "Oh, Krishna's killing this and that." And what's going on. But Krishna killed Pandraka, but then Srila Prabhupada explains that he got Sarupya. He got a similar form in the spiritual world. It says that he was offensive in his life, thinking he was Krishna, but Krishna killed him, and then that offense was removed, and then he got Sarupya. So the same form. So in this way, Krishna is so merciful. Now, later on, what happened is Pandraka's son became very angry, and he said, now I will kill Krishna, because he didn't get the idea. So he performed all of this black magic, and they created this huge demon, and the demon went to Dwarka, and all the citizens of Dwarka were scared, calling out to Krishna. There's a beautiful recording of, it was Satsrup Das Goswami, and I'm forgetting her name right now, but they were narrating Krishna book. And I believe it was the part where Mother Yashoda, she's standing on the bank of the Yamuna, and Krishna is there in Kaliya's grip. And then Srila Prabhupada, they're sharing this with Srila Prabhupada, the recording. And then this devotee, a disciple of Prabhupada, she yells out, as like Mother Yashoda, Krishna, she yells out. And then Srila Prabhupada said, oh, stop the tape. And then he said, oh, who is that? And he said, oh, it's so-and-so. And then he said, oh, you should tell her that she should always call out to Krishna like that. Very wonderful. So the Dwarka citizens, they called out to Krishna, and of course Krishna came and saved them. And then the demon was redirected to the city of Kashi, which then it killed that son and destroyed the city, the demon. So the idea is that whenever a mantra is chanted that is meant to kill someone or cause someone harm, if it doesn't cause that person harm, it has to come back and cause the person who created it harm. So that's what happened. So, and then the pastimes continue. So yes, we cannot cheat Krishna. Krishna knows everything, as this verse is saying. Sarvasya chaham hridi sandavishta mataspitya gyanam pohanam cha. So we may not have the problem of ourselves claiming to be God or accepting other people to be God, and so on. Although sometimes in material existence that God tendency may come out in different ways. Krishna talks about that in the Bhagavad Gita book, that Yoga Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He's a supreme friend, proprietor, enjoyer. So sometimes that comes out in a smaller way, you could say, not in such a gross way, in the form of wanting to be an independent enjoyer, wanting to be an independent proprietor or controller. So, and if you analyze our japa sometimes, right, our minds are wandering and the proprietorship is coming up, and or be an enjoyer or controller or something like that. So we have to control that. So yes, Krishna will help us. He will give us everything we need. One devotee in Boston in the early days is one of the first questions he asked Srila Prabhupada, that there's so many gurus, there's so many paths, how are we to know which path to take? And then Srila Prabhupada said that depends on your goal. Do you want to be God or do you want to serve God? He was actually thinking he wanted to be God at the time. So then Srila Prabhupada explained that if you want to serve God, he will help you. Brahmanda Brahmatikon Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. The creeper of devotions needs sunlight and water to grow and produce the fruit of love of Godhead. So he will help you with that. He'll give you the proper sun, the water, everything you need to grow that. And then Prabhupada went further to say that Krishna is always God. He's God on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He's God in the lap of Mother Yashoda. He's always God. It's not that by some meditation he became God. And Krishna's everywhere, and again, he'll help you. So if you want to be Krishna conscious, Krishna will help you. But he said, if you want to be Krishna, if you want to be God, then why should he help the competition? So the idea is that Krishna will help us, and he is merciful, and he is supremely merciful and supremely kind. We just have to make our endeavor. The sun is shining very often, if not all the time, in Tucson. You got to go outside and you have to go outside to reap the benefits of the sun. So similarly, Krishna's mercy is always there. We just have to extend ourselves. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Yes. Or comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I personally have met God twice since I've been here.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. You met him at the restaurant. He came to have some
One,
buffet.
one came to the Sunday feast repeatedly, and Kirtaneshwar Guragadas took care of that one. And then
I hope it wasn't a physical altercation, right?
Loud use of words.
Oh, really? Okay.
He was giving out cards that said he was God.
Oh, really? Ah.
But he only has one kind of shirt, so I always thought God would have more than one shirt. But and then then the other one was that girl that robbed our boutique. She told me she was God, and that this was her temple. And I asked to see her universal form. She declined.
Forgetting about the guy with the trash can on his head who kept screaming, "I'm
Oh
Vasudeva."
yes.
That was a physical altercation. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There was a guy back here with a trash can over his head. And Lita Priya saw him and she called me, and then I said, get out of here, man. And he said, and he was not leaving, so finally I had to physically pull him out.
Yeah.
And he was screaming, "I'm Vasudeva, you can't touch me like this."
Wow.
And I don't
Amazing.
know, never saw him. My question is, so
Yeah, there's one devotee in San Diego, one of the Krishna loungers. He came to the lounge and he was a guy who would come to our program once a week or whatever. And then he was claiming this, yeah, I'm supreme, this and that. And so our Lakshman, I don't know if you know Lakshman, but our Lakshman, he said, "Oh, really? Okay, that's cool." And he said he had like a really fancy necklace. The guy was wearing like a really expensive necklace. He said, "All right, I'm one, we're all one. That's cool." He said, "Can I have your necklace?" For all one. And the guy, he had to follow his philosophy, so he handed over the necklace to him. I think he came asking for it the next week, but I'm not sure if Lux will give it back.
Use that next time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I told the guy out there, I said, if you're God, we're in big trouble, buddy. Anyhow, so a lot of us know that guy. He came for years. But my question is, in the purport, it says Prabhupada will help one, it says Krishna will help one to fulfill any desire. My question is we have some desire to serve Krishna, and sometimes we face so many challenges, but if we wanted to go into Maya, it just seems so easy. Like I can go into Maya, it'd be so easy, but it would seem like that. But then to serve Krishna, it seems like there's so much challenge and struggle. So
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting point that it seems very difficult to be Krishna conscious, but it seems much easier to be in Maya. And at particular levels, that would make sense, that if we're dealing with particular conditioning or tendencies, then it might just be easier just to fall into Maya. But the problem with that is that you're just not happy, you're not satisfied. There's always a sense of frustration, or there's something like ignorance is bliss. It's not really bliss, where wisdom is folly. So, but at a particular point, even though one may still have some tendencies to be in Maya, to be into illusion, at a particular point in one's journey in Krishna consciousness, they cannot think, they cannot help but be Krishna conscious or engage in Krishna conscious activities. They just can't stay away from Krishna, even if they try. Of course, you have on a very high level, you have the gopis of Vrindavan, and they have this thing because Krishna left, and they're thinking, "Oh, let's just stop talking about Krishna." But they couldn't, actually. But I would say there's also in this material world at a particular stage in one's journey to Krishna consciousness, they're just attracted to Krishna. They have to chant, not because out of some duty. They're attracted to Krishna. Krishna's all attractive. Maya's not all attractive. It's the glitter of all that's glitter. All that glitters is not gold. So it's a false attraction. Krishna's most attractive. But in relation to things being easy or difficult, sometimes we may think Krishna consciousness is difficult, and maybe sometimes it may seem like that. Might be. But Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who is not a joker, he's not some type of clown or something, or joker, or he's not messing around when he says something. He's really serious about it. So Rupa Goswami, he's not a joker. But Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who wrote the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is a masterpiece biography of Lord Chaitanya, he says that if one remembers Lord Chaitanya, very, very difficult things become easy. And if one forgets Lord Chaitanya, very easy things become difficult. So therefore we should always remember Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, meditate on him. So if we want our Krishna consciousness to be easy, which that's okay, desire. We want it to be difficult, right? If we want to think of Krishna easily and engage in our service easily in the sense that we're naturally attracted to Krishna consciousness, then we should remember Lord Chaitanya. And there's so many beautiful pastimes of Lord Chaitanya we could meditate on and hear, and we're in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. Is the Hare Krishna movement. And some acharyas even go so far, like Jagannath Das Babaji, I think Jagannath Das Babaji. He would say one should worship the king of the world at the time, or of the particular place. He said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's the latest incarnation around 500 years ago. Krishna come again to give love for Krishna. So there should be a special emphasis, as Jagannath Das Babaji says, a special emphasis on worshiping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, yeah, we need special mercy, especially in the West. It says the further you go west, the more fallen it becomes. So we're pretty far out here.
You're about as far as it gets there.
Yeah, we're about as far as it gets. So, yeah, that's the one. So, but we should also note that the special mercy of Gaur Nitai in Nityananda Prabhu is even more available in a sense because we're in these capitals of Kali, or the capitals of illusion in the Western world. So, in other words, we need special mercy to be empowered to give that out to others. And Gaur Nitai will give that to us. Why? Because they're the ones who specifically would go to the most unfortunate, wretched persons, non-Krishna conscious persons. So yeah, it's a great opportunity actually to be in a place like Tucson or in the Western world. We have a great opportunity coming up for this Day of the Dead. Interesting. This celebration in which we'll have the opportunity to give out so much prasadam to people and for them to hear the holy names and so on. So yeah, we should always remember Lord Chaitanya.
Thank you.
Yes, Sandamani.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you.
And all
Nice
the
to be here with
devotees.
all of you.
Just a comment, another way Prabhupada would answer if one of the reporters or someone asked, what do you think of so-and-so Swami?
Mm-hmm.
And then Prabhupada would say, who? And so that would immediately diminish whoever it was.
Yes.
It'd start out with who, and then they'd repeat it again. And then
Yes.
Prabhupada would say to them, what is their philosophy?
Yes. Yeah.
So 99%, the people have no idea. They're just asking as a challenge.
Yeah.
And so then they'd be like stammering, or they wouldn't, they would show their ignorance and why they were actually asking.
Mhm.
And that way, even if they did know something, then Prabhupada said, you defeat the philosophy, not
Yes.
the person. In that way,
Yes.
but
Yeah. That's a very good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Because there's different ways that Srila Prabhupada went about it as the founder of Charya, and there's different ways that we could go about it. So we should also take in consideration these other examples, which Srila Prabhupada would mostly use. That who is that, and then what is their philosophy, and then Srila Prabhupada would go and defeat their philosophy. So in this way, it doesn't become like it seems like he's out to get particular people or something. In relation to this, Satsru Das Goswami, he approached Srila Prabhupada and he wanted to write a book. And the book was, he was going to name all the different gurus and pretty much explain how they're all wrong. That was his idea. And then Prabhupada said, no, I don't think you should do that. And he said that, if you hit a skunk, your hand will be that. Yeah. So better don't do that. So this is the method that practically we should follow. That what is their philosophy, and then try to. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. I was wondering if we have a friend who doesn't necessarily seem like they're totally just trying to be God, but they're in the oneness thing.
Yeah.
How do we kindly share with them, like, are there any verses like how in the Gita Krishna says, I've always had my individuality, you've always had yours?
Yeah.
Or any words, ideas, places in the Bhagavatam, in the Gita?
Yeah.
What do you think of?
Well, in the Bhagavad Gita, in the chapter where Krishna displays his universal form, Srila Prabhupada writes that he did this so that people in the future, couldn't so easily claim I'm God. They have to show the universal form. So that's one thing that you can't just say I'm God, but okay, where's your universal form? Or Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sanda Vishnu, we were just reading, I am in everybody's heart, guiding them, so on. So you could say, well, what am I thinking right now, or whatever. So and then also in the second chapter, Krishna says that to Arjuna, that you, me, and all these kings, we always existed. That one will never cease to be. So it describes the individualism of the entities. So I think a lot of people, they're just quite innocently confused. And by chanting Hare Krishna, you could read the Bhagavad Gita with them, for example, read some verses, some purports, discuss, taking prasadam, then these ideas could go away. Like one of our brahmacharis, Amogalila, I remember he came to the temple and he told me something like that. I'm like, oh, we're all one or something. And I just kind of looked at him and I smiled. I didn't say much. And I just fed him some more halva. But eventually, through reading, through chanting, through associating with him, he gave up those ideas very easily and became a brahmachari. Yes. Sureshwar Prabhu and then Kirtan.
I don't know if you hit on this in the class, but the second to last sentence of Prabhupada's purport is striking. He says, the Lord, and it's all about Krishna being a witness, the Lord directly witnesses our activities and experiences our desires. Did you talk about that?
I did not know.
How in the world does Lord, because Krishna is all pervading, but he's aloof. It's not that he experiences our desires the way we experience our desires.
Yeah, that's
How
for
does
sure.
he experience our desires? Can you?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a little surprising in a sense how Srila Prabhupada wrote like that, because generally he wouldn't say, indicating this. Although how I'm seeing it is that Krishna, because he's very close to us as a super soul, he understands our our sufferings, for example, like as a good father. Good father is very close to you, and your defeat and pain is their pain. They feel that. Or again, Krishna's very close. He's happy when we're happy. I mean, Krishna's always happy, but as a good father, he's also feeling that happiness. So I was seeing it like that, not that.
Yeah, right.
Not like we eat some ice cream or something, and then like Krishna experiences that, or not like that. Oh, sometimes devotees joke. They had like one devotee who's at a Sunday feast. He had 2 plates, and he said, "Well, one's for me and one's for the super soul." So, anyways, that's how I was kind of.
But he experiences, Krishna experiences
Yeah.
by understanding, by knowing, like
Yeah.
the Father. Not that he feels the way we feel.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
great. Thanks.
Yes. Kirtan.
About the Prabhuji that his friend want to become like one with God. It is possible if you fall in love with God. So in love, people become one. They think they share the same ideas. They share the same thoughts, even though they are separate, different person. But their idea, they follow the same thing. So the oneness in Krishna consciousness means to listen what Krishna says, not to have different opinion from him. So if you inspire him, love God, then you become one with him.
They were one and different, inconceivably, simultaneously one and different. So you could present Lord Chaitanya's philosophy. Thank you. And that, yeah. So
Yeah, that's a good angle. But also there's the like not thinking that Krishna is a person.
yeah,
Too,
so
that's a tough part.
So
of
people
it.
need time. People need time to come around to that. People are coming from very, very impersonal backgrounds.
Yeah, we all are, right?
Yeah. So people need time. Because we have like radical personalism. It's just like, doesn't get more radical in terms of how personal we are. So we're like up close and personal. Speaking of up close and personal, who just the Radha Krishna leaders? Yeah, Kirtaneshwar.
Agitation, Shanti.
Yeah.
Shanti, okay. Nice.
Wonderful. Pujaris. I was thinking, just in address to that one thing I found very effective in terms of answering, because we have a lot of oneness people, especially when we preach in Sedona, is this Vedanti tat Davidas tat Vamyaj Jnanamadvyam Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabhyate, that the supreme absolute truth is understood by the sages in 3 ways. The Brahman, so you can acknowledge that they have some understanding because there is a oneness, but higher than that is the super soul, and higher than that is the Bhagavan, which is, that's the confidential knowledge. Then you begin to explain why that Bhagavatam is, why the Bhagavan realization is more supreme, and because of relationship, and why that's the actual situation. So I just found that very effective understanding to help people.
Yes.
Yeah, that's 1 to 11.
Yes, that's a great point. There's 3 aspects to the absolute truth, not 2, not 1, 3 aspects, and that's what the Bhagavatam says. And as Kirtaneshwari says, that you could explain further how the importance of relationships, for example, like even in the mundane sense of the material world, how they're most important relationships, and even going into the spiritual world or the relationship with Krishna. Yes, you could explain that's also there.
And the nice people will get that, like about, mode of goodness. Nice people, they get that it's about relationships. So it's just extending it one more level.
Yeah. All right. Anyone? Okay.
Who's Kamadev?
I'm sorry?
Who's Kamadev? Do you know?
Okay. Kamadev. He's a personality Kama means desire. And when you talk about Kamadev, so Dev means like God, so he's like the God of desire, and that he is trying to bewilder, living entities by this general sexual attraction between men and women, and he shoots his arrow, right? Pierces the heart of the living entity. So that's there. There's some verses and some understanding that I mean, you hear that in the Bhagavatam that Kamadev tried to shoot an arrow to a particular sage or Shiva, and sometimes Krishna, and it says that his arrow is broken. It just couldn't be shot. So, yeah, in order to get free from that, the Kamadev of the material world, then we take shelter of Krishna. He's the supreme attractive
Like Cupid?
Cupid, yeah. Or to get free from Cupid, you go to, which he's the attractor of so many Cupids, right?
We sing that every morning.
Yes. Yeah, Kandarpakoti. Kamaniya, he's the attractor of so many Cupids. So, and then you have Madan Mohan Mohini, who is Srimati Radharani, who is attracting the attractor of so many Cupids. So, yeah. You have Madan Mohan, and you have Madan Mohan Mohini. So that's Radharani. All right. Okay, so now it is time for prasadam. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai.